If you're a bit of a nerd like me, you get excited for the release of new audio plugins. Although some plugin releases are absolutely game-changing for music production, mixing, and mastering, some others fall flat, specifically when companies promise the world, but then deliver a plugin that's too expensive, hardly updates any features, or it introduces processing that nobody asked for or wanted. That's when buyer's remorse sets in. So let's take a look at these plugins and cover why they were the most disappointing plugins of all time. Now, quick side note, if you use or like any of these plugins, I'm in no way criticizing you. These are just my honest feelings about the plugins, but if you think I made a mistake, or you have a plugin that you'd like to add to the list, let me know about it in the comments. So first up, we have Waves Renaissance Reverb. Aside from stock plugins, Waves plugins are usually some of the first that engineers get their hands on. I remember when I was younger, I bought some Waves audio plugins and it felt like, well, okay, now I'm actually serious about making music. But then I used the ones that I would use on a regular basis, and the disappointment set in pretty quick. Out of habit, and due to the fact that I paid for it, I'd use it on every session, but it never created something that I was truly happy with. Now, I think what's most disappointing about this plugin, especially for newer engineers, is that it's touted as this fantastic reverb by pro engineers. They've made presets for it, offered testimonials that claim they use it on everything, etc. So if you use it and you think, well, this doesn't sound good, you think that you're the problem. But if you've experienced this, I can guarantee you it's not you, it's the plugin. The algorithms used are simple and sparse, resulting in this empty, unrealistic sound. The controls are pretty bare bones, meaning that if you do find an algorithm that works for your track, you don't have much control over it. So in short, you're better off saving your money for a better reverb plugin, or finding some free impulse responses online and loading them into a stock convolution reverb. So here's our verb on a signal, and notice how the reflections are sparse and that it has this slight metallic sound to it.
I wake up, slow down, decay. I'm pulling on every line, and time's up, can't wait. Been waiting on it my whole life. Slow down, decay. I'm pulling on every line, and time's up, can't wait. Been waiting on it my whole life.
Next up, we have Auto-Tune Access by Antares. So since Antares created the first vocal tuning plugin, I was incredibly excited to see an affordable option for Auto-Tune, but then I bought it and I realized how little control it offers. Auto-Tune Access is a sample of a plugin, enough to somewhat understand what it does, but never offering enough control to make it useful. Want to control the retune speed? You have 3 options. Think the tuning is too robotic? Try the 2 settings that the plugin offers. It's frustrating because it's so obvious that this was purposeful. It takes just as much effort to include blendable or variable functions as it does to create 2 or 3 hard set functions. Now you could argue that this was to make it easier to use, but I genuinely doubt that this was the intention. A great free alternative is Spot On by 6Sample. It's the same thing, but with the variable speed and humanize options that I mentioned. So here's Auto-Tune Access with its full set of functions on display.
I wake up, slow down, decay. I'm pulling on every line, and time's up, can't wait. Been waiting on it my whole life. Slow down, decay. I'm pulling on every line, and time's up, can't wait. Been waiting on it my whole life.
Next up, we have Waves Tune Vocal Pitch Correction. If Auto-Tune Access is the unhelpful little brother of Auto-Tune, Waves Tune is like the estranged second cousin twice removed of Melodyne. Unlike the other plugins on this list, this one genuinely doesn't work. It's been around for over a decade, and it simply doesn't operate how it should. The artifacts it introduces make its use counterproductive. You'll spend more time trying to fix what the plugin has screwed up than actually making or mixing music. When I first used this plugin, there wasn't an affordable Melodyne option, but now there is, so genuinely there's no reason to frustrate yourself with this plugin. Let's take a listen to it tuning some vocals and notice how aggressively it changes the timbre and introduces unwanted artifacts.
I wake up, slow down, decay. I'm pulling on every line, and time's up, can't wait. Been waiting on it my whole life. Slow down, decay. Pulling on every line, and time's up, can't wait. Been waiting on it my whole life.
Next up, we have Oak Sound Bloom. So this is not a bad plugin by any means. Oak Sound creates incredibly well-designed and optimized plugins, but whereas the plugin Soothe 2 changed how a lot of people mixed and produced music, Bloom felt very lackluster in comparison. It's a tone shaper that uses an algorithm to determine a standard frequency response. It's a great concept and it's well executed, it's just that other plugins have done it better. Golfoss EQ is probably more useful. Trackspacer, although it's simple, is priced very reasonably. But $200 for a plugin that does something other plugins do, even better, or more affordably, is a hard thing to justify. Next up, we have FabFilter Pro Q4. I'll probably get some pushback for this, but I was genuinely disappointed with this plugin. I've been keeping up with almost every FabFilter release for almost a decade. The jump from Saturn to Saturn 2 was fantastic. The same could be said for Timeless 2 to Timeless 3. And of course, as soon as the Pro Q3 was released, I started using it over the Pro Q2. But I genuinely see no reason to update to the Pro Q4. The features that were added for the Pro Q3 seem like more than I'll ever need to mix something. Meanwhile, the additions for the Pro Q4 seem like meaningless fluff. The spectral EQ function feels like it's chasing a trend instead of offering something that would be useful to users. The draw function is an interesting concept, but I struggle to see the benefit. Now, since it doesn't improve upon the original algorithm and it doesn't offer any features I think would be useful or would improve my productions, I was genuinely disappointed when I tried this update on one of my favorite plugins. Last up, we have any iZotope Ozone update over the past 5 years. Like with FabFilter's Pro Q4 release, iZotope seems to have shifted their focus from professional engineers to audio engineering enthusiasts. And there's nothing wrong with that. They've still made plenty of tools that are absolutely incredible. I use the simplified version of iZotope's RX on just about every project, and it's genuinely one of the best tools that I have. But I do find it frustrating that each Ozone release feels increasingly simplified. Instead of improved algorithms or innovative features, iZotope is focused on the mixing and mastering equivalent to hand-holding. I like Bloom or the Pro Q4, these are not bad plugins at all. But it's been disappointing to see the shift from professional tools to what feels like purposefully scaled down and simplified settings, in which, like Auto-Tune Access, the user is offered 1 or 2 functions instead of variable options. And despite the simplicity, the plugin lags, analyzers freeze and sputter, there's latency as I switch between the plugins, and other small annoyances as I interact with it. Again, they're not bad plugins at all, but it's disappointing to see a determined shift toward unnecessary simplicity and frequent updates over quality. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us, Sage Audio has been a mastering studio for 2 decades. To work with us, create a free account, upload your mixes, click Request Mastering, and leave any notes that you'd like. The master is uploaded to your account when it's done for you to review and download. And if you're not completely happy with it, request a revision. We're not happy with your masters until you are. The standard turnaround is $49 a track, the express turnaround is $59 a track, and it's mastered by actual mastering engineers. Again, thank you so much for watching, I genuinely appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.